So to sum it up, by combining the channel bands with regular Fibonacci levels, you have here a powerful way to identify turning points in the market. If you are an XRP holder, this video is for you. I will reveal for the first time on this channel the one and only analysis you need to track XRP movement. It gives us potential targets to the upside, potential targets to the downside, and great levels of supports and resistances. I am going to show you that this XRP channel that you are looking at right now can be used in conjunction with Fibonacci levels to increase the probability of catching future pivot points in the chart. You are going to learn so much in this video and I can't wait to teach you these things. If you are ready, I am too. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Aquaflow Crypto Lab. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel if you liked what I'm about to share with you. Now, let's jump in. The best way to explain what this chart is all about is by explaining how I came up with this channel. For that, we need to take a step back. I started by noticing that 3 pivot points are almost aligned. So, we have this pivot point, and this one. So I drew a line passing through each of these points. This is the orange line. Then I saw that just right here, we almost touched the line, which is confirming that this line is very, very important for XRP because we used it as a resistance here, again a resistance, a strong resistance that led us to the downside, and here we used it as a support. Then I drew this line that you see here, okay? This is the line passing through the bottom of XRP in 2020, okay? So this line is parallel to the orange line, and this is the line passing through the bottom, right? And when you do this, you see that here it was a strong support after the SEC sell-off that we have here. Here it was almost a support. We almost touched it, but it was a strong support. And at the very beginning of the chart, you can see that just right here, it was a very strong support too. And let me remind you that I didn't even try to link all these points, this one, this one, this one, and this one. It was just the result of drawing the parallel line of the orange line passing through the bottom. And as a coincidence, we have this point, and this point. And if you've been following me on this channel, you know I don't really believe in coincidences. That's why, in my opinion, it's not random. So we have the orange line that I call the setup line. Then we have the parallel line, and this gives us a channel with the upper line and the bottom line, right? Well, now what can we do from here? We can cut this huge band into smaller bands. And to do this, we will use Fibonacci ratios. And here comes the magic, guys. Usually people use Fibonacci ratios the conventional ways with horizontal lines, but you can use it with sloping lines also. So we have the 0 line here and the 100% line just right here, okay? And here you can see the different ratios for each band. You see that this line matches this ratio, then this band, this ratio, this is the 50% band, the 61.8% band, and the 78.6% band. So at the beginning we had this huge band, and we divided these bands into smaller bands using the Fibonacci ratios. And when you do this, you can see that these white internal bands play a major role in the chart too. For example, let's take the 50% line that you see just right here. We can start from here. You see that here it was a major resistance because we hit it and we went to the downside. Here it was a major support because after touching it we have a wick, as you can see for the candle. Then we touched it here again and we got rejected from it. Here again it's a major resistance, and if you follow the line, here again it was a support this time because we had a moonshot from XRP. Then we went sideways until touching this line and we went up. So it was a support. We crossed it and here it was almost a resistance. We almost touched the line. But here you can see how strong it was because it was again a strong resistance. This is exactly what we had here and here. So people said that it was the SEC. Yes, it was the SEC that pushed us so far away from this point, but it was normal to be rejected from this area because, as you can see, the 50% line was a strong resistance. Here we touched it again, we got rejected from it, and then that's pretty much it because here we danced around it, but it wasn't as precise as the previous points. What about the, let's say, 382 line? As you can see here, it was a very strong support for this entire correction after the moonshot that we had just right here. So we went down and all the way up, we used the 382 ratio as a support before having our second moonshot. Then, as you can see, we used the same line as a support again before having this intermediate moonshot during the bear market of XRP. Then we crossed it, used it as a resistance here and as a very precise resistance here. Here we can say that it was a support even if we went through it before going up. What about the 236 line? So we have it here. So let's see. You see that here it was a support because we went through it, but we had a bounce. Then here it was a resistance. Here it was a resistance before the breakout. Then what can we say? Here it was a small support, and here it is the most recent top of XRP, and this is a major resistance. And you can see again, guys, how precise this is. This is amazing. We are getting to the current situation, but before we have this band, the 0.618 line, and as you can see here again, it was a major pivot point here. Also here, if we zoom in, you'll see here it was a support just right here. And if we look into the future, let's see. Okay, this is great, guys. You can see it, right? Here it was a support, here also, and we have a small bounce. And here it was a major resistance before having the dump that gave us the bottom of XRP in 2020. And then here we almost touched it as a support, and here it was a resistance before being rejected, right? And last but not least, this is our current support. and this is the 0.786 line. And look how accurate this is. It was a resistance after the SEC sell-off. Here again, it was a resistance, right? Here it was a precise, very accurate support. Let's see in the past. Then we have here again a very strong support after this moonshot from XRP. We went up, we had a correction down to this level, and after touching it, we had a second moonshot. And when you see this, this was the very first bullish move from XRP, as you can see. And this very line was our first area of resistance before having the second moonshot. And currently we are in the exact same situation. As you can see, we are using the same line as a support. And I forgot to circle this one, but as you can see, we touched the line perfectly just right here before having this moonshot. So currently we are holding this level in a strong way, which is very good. We have a strong bounce to the upside. We almost touched the line a second time, just right here, and we went up. So if we want to stay bullish, we need to keep this level as a support, and we need to break this area of resistance. Now let's get to the best thing. If we combine conventional Fibonacci lines with this channel, look what happens. This is amazing. Look, we will take a Fibonacci tool and we will draw some lines, okay? From the top, the very top of XRP in 2017 to the bottom. And as you can see, well, I will use the magnet to be very precise with the chart. Okay, now this is getting very interested. And as you can see, we have very important levels for XRP, and these are Fibonacci ratios too, but this time we have horizontal lines. And you know that I am a big fan of confluences. Look, here we have a confluence point between the 50% line and our channel, and we have a strong rejection. Here again we have the line of the channel here and the 0.382 line that you can see just right here, and when both lines are crossing, we have a strong rejection. It's like the price was attracted to this confluence point before being rejected. But there is more to it. Look, if I use this time, this pivot point, this major pivot point from XRP, look how precise it gets. Here again, we have a very strong confluence point between this line of the Fibonacci ratio and our channel. It was a major pivot point, okay? Let's see if we can find something else. Here again, you see that it was a strong confluence point, very precise, between the 50% line and our channel. We got rejected, okay? Here again, it was a confluence area between the channel and the Fibonacci ratios. Here it was very precise again, and even here it was a confluence point. We have two confluence points, in fact, between the 1.618 extension of the Fibonacci ratios and our channel, and we have a very strong rejection. Okay, and I can go on and on and on. So to sum it up, by combining the channel bands with regular Fibonacci levels, you have here a powerful way to identify turning points in the market. To finish, I want to share what I think about a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. First, let's talk about the bearish scenario. So on this chart, I added the mountain indicator. And as you know, this line is very, very important. So I will circle it, let's say in purple, because every time we touch it, we have a strong move to the upside. XRP cannot stay inside the mountain indicator. So you see that we have a bounce after touching it. Here we have a confluence point between the mountain indicator in orange. You see it, right? We have this line going down, down. It crosses the bottom of our channel and the price went into it. Okay, it was a strong attraction between these points and the price went right into this point. So we had our bottom just right here. Then we have the SEC sell-off, and it was the same thing. We have the mountain indicator going up to test this line, and at the same time the price went straight into this area. And right now, look what is going on. We have the indicator that is about to cross our channel. So we need to pay attention to this. It should happen at the beginning of April, so we need to pay attention to this. It could be attracted to this point. Okay, so this is the most bearish case. What about the bullish scenario? It's very simple. As you know, it was the very first line that I showed to you. It was this line, the orange line. This is the most bullish scenario that we can have right now. We know that every time we touched the line, we had a very strong rejection to the downside. So right now, if XRP goes up, it has multiple resistances to go through before being able to retest this area of resistance. But so far in this chart, this is the stronger area of resistance that we have if we have a moonshot. So we need to pay attention to this. But before, we need to get out of this channel by going up and using the next channels as supports. Let me know in the comments what you think about this analysis. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all for today's video. It's time to leave the crypto lab. Thanks for watching. Do not ever be afraid to make new experiments. And if someone tells you you're crazy, just tell them. Time will tell.